All right, hey guys. This is Benjamin. You can just call me Ben, unless you guys already know. I will be your English instructor. I make this video just to give you guys a preview of what we will be doing over the course of 5 days and what topics we will be touching upon and what I expect you guys to get from this class. So let me pull up a PowerPoint just so you guys get some visual cues and part doesn't look this boring. So yes, preview of English lecture by me. And then, all right, first 2 days will comprise of sentence structure and conjugations. If you guys aren't already familiar with this is just kind of how we break up the components of a sentence into its components like subject, verbs, objects, prepositional phrases, and there will be more, but I didn't want to write all of them. I didn't want to drown you guys so early on. So like an example would be, like right here, we have I ran a marathon. Now the syntax of this sentence has to be done in a specific way, just like most simple sentences. So if you notice here, we have the first word I, which is highlighted in red. That is a subject, which is representative of the person or the thing that's going to be doing the verb. The verb being ran, which is in this sentence, which is highlighted in green right here. So far we have I ran, which means I ran yesterday, because as we know, or hopefully, the word ran is a past tense of the word run. Now, that's where conjugations come into play. Conjugations are a way of altering a verb so that we could identify when the verb was done. So like if we did the verb yesterday, today, or we will be doing it in the future. So in this case, ran is past tense. That means you did it yesterday or somewhere in the past. And then we go on to a marathon. Now the marathon in this sentence is the object. So that's just what you ran. So it's just what the verb was conducted on. So then here we have a full sentence, I ran a marathon in this order of subject, verbs, and object. I'm not quite sure what your guys' English level will be, but I'm pretty sure it's fantastic. So if this is too easy for you, which I imagine it is, we will go into compound sentences where we put a modifier after marathon and we can continue on adding additional information to the first sentence. Like I ran a marathon, then had a cake, which leads us to the next question. She baked a cake for dessert. So here, she, object again, it's representative of the person and a female, and she baked a cake. So here, she, like I said, is a subject. Then we go on to the verb, which is baked. Again, baked is the past tense of the verb bake, meaning she did it before, yesterday, sometime in the past, doesn't matter when. And then we have cake. This is what she baked, just like how in the first sentence, a marathon is what I ran. So then here we have she baked a cake. Now, the purple, if you guys aren't familiar with, is what we call a prepositional phrase. This is modifying what the cake was made for, or what occasion was it baked for. There will be more like independent clauses, dependent clauses, but like I said, I don't want to overwhelm you guys right now since it's just a preview, and I don't want you guys to get worried about it just yet since I don't want to scare you guys away. So yeah, these will be the first 2 days. Don't worry, I'll make this stuff very easy to absorb, and I'm pretty sure after the first hour that we've gone through this, you guys will be absolute professionals. So here we will go on to SDG goals and public speaking. These will be the remaining 3, 4, 5 days of our course. So the reason why I wanted to get into SDG goals, or if you aren't familiar with it, these are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Just to give you a brief understanding of what the purpose of these goals are for, it's basically a plan for humanity, just all of us in general, to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all living creatures on this planet. These goals address the socioeconomic issues like poverty, racial inequality, gender inequality, climate change, environmental issues, and how we as a species should come together and eradicate these issues to make, like I said, the world a more sustainable place. Now, I was a 2017, I believe that's the year, yes, 2017 United Nations Junior Ambassador. So I did a program uh, 3 years ago. Sorry, I forgot, but 3 years ago during summer of my junior year. And I went to Vermont with a couple of international students, local students, and we basically delved into the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and we had to deeply understand what each goal was designed to do and what myself and others could do to address that issue and achieve our goal. Next, we will have public speaking. Now, the reason why I put these two together on the same slide is because I will first brief you guys on the 17 goals and the purposes, and then I would want you guys to pick one goal that you find the most important. Remember, all 17 goals are equally important, but the purpose of this is so that you guys have to find, using your own words, to convince me why the goal you chose is the most important. So in my example, during my program, I selected quality education. I won't go over exactly what topics are brought up as to why it's the most important, but my main focus of this was that because everything we know and learn stems from just being educated and learning, everything we know and do as people stems from education. And it's most importantly to start building this education when you're younger. So that's why I believe quality education to be the foundation and the platform to build up upon in order to achieve the rest of these goals. Now, the same could be argued for the other ones, but that's up to you guys to argue it to me because that's the point of public speaking. Now, the benefits of public speaking is to get you comfortable with expressing yourself in a language you aren't familiar with, and being put on the spot really narrows down, or not narrows down, but it really gauges how well you understand and can express yourself in English. And putting you on the spot just makes you have to critical think and word out your thoughts in a proper way for me and or just any audience to understand. So that's why these two will be done together. We will have another public speaking activity. I believe it's an interview. Don't worry. I know the interview might be a bit scary, but trust me, it's just a few questions, just a few back and forth questions between me and you. I will give you guys the questions beforehand so you can prepare your answers. So don't get worried about it. It's no problem. But I just wanted to keep it proactive so that we could just keep going back and forth so that you can get a good understanding of or like a very brief understanding of what an interview would be like in the future. Like say if you're going for a job or college admission, just anything like internships. There's a lot of stuff that this skill could be used for. And before I leave you guys, I wanted to just give some effective tips on to improve your English speaking skills. Now, will be applied to any language that you ever want to learn and improve on. First one would be to just watch the shows, movies, or engage in any videos that have English subtitles so that when you hear the words, you can refer down to like the subtitles and link words together. And also when you see the subtitles, you could also break it down into like subjects, verbs, what conjugation the verb is. You could just basically break down the sentence and understand why the sentence is formatted this way and how the English language works. And you can also pick up slangs, which is also very important. Just don't pick up the bad ones. I will be sure to not use any. Next will be to engage in conversations with fluent speakers. Again, this allows you to feel and hear for the flow of the way we speak. And again, with the slangs, because that's usually the hardest. I feel like that's usually the hardest part of learning a new language, because usually you won't even hear these slangs unless you speak to a native speaker or you just hear it in public. And it'll help because usually the slangs are like are condensed versions of like sentences or phrases. I will we won't touch upon these too much in the course, but if you guys ever hear me use any, just be sure to just tell me, and I'll be sure to explain it, because I'm probably just gonna say it by accident or like just naturally, being a English speaker and being born in America. And then we have the third one, which is immerse yourself in the culture. Now, the big reason why I selected this is because when you're put in a situation where you're forced to use the language, you have no other choice but to improve the way you speak and to try to just think about the way the words are formatted and the way the sentences are formatted. Like I personally didn't have an experience in this, but my friend who wanted to brush up on Spanish took Spanish 1, 2, 3 in high school. Now, in high school, realistically, it won't help you as much, except for like vocabulary, very simple sentences, questions, like very straightforward, vanilla like sentences. Now, vanilla, okay, vanilla. When I say vanilla, I just mean simple, because vanilla is a plain flavor, so that's another word we use to describe something very simple. So back to the story. So after he graduated, he went to Mexico. He moved to Mexico for a month to immerse himself in the culture. And he said during that month, he learned more Spanish and slangs than he ever did in the 3 years in high school. Now, granted, those 3 years did help him have a foundation to build upon, but the progress he made in that month completely overstepped the stuff he learned in the first 3 years. So if you guys ever have a chance, maybe come to America, come take take college courses here, high school, junior high school, or middle school. I don't know. Some schools have it differently. But yeah, if you guys ever have any questions as to how we act and do here, you can just ask me. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything related to the course, what I do, what I like to do, just anything in general, just feel free to ask when I see you guys on July 13th, I believe. All right, yeah. All right, guys. Have a great summer.